Welcome again to the Inspirations podcast. Today, we are going to talk about the reality of living and working as an African expatriate here in America from my perspective and the perspective of others like me. In the first episode, if you remember, we discussed the arrival, climate conditions, as well as searching for a job and finding housing. Now, after finding housing and while looking for employment, the couple find it difficult to get a job in their field or with their degrees. For everyone who has gone through this experience, you must agree that African degrees and our intelligence is not given much consideration when we apply for a good position. Employers are biased and consider our degree subpar until they realize that we are indeed a force to reckon with. So, we are left to settle with low-paying jobs, and the income we receive is barely enough to pay rent and utilities, let alone transportation and food. Employers know that we desperately need that income to survive, and therefore they play on our circumstances by giving us a poor schedule with a few bad hours that other employees would not take. We are then forced to work under high stress. In our environment, where we are not accepted, where people look down on us and make fun of our appearance, the way we speak, our accent, everything about us, and as much as they can. To increase our pay, we try to request hours and end up working hours that other people refuse to work. We are becoming more and more exhausted. We have less money. We are spending more time on the road to go to work, spending more time at work, facing racial prejudice, as well as economic prejudice, economic discrimination. Don't get me wrong, not everybody we meet is a racist. Some people are nice. They will want to help. But the majority of times, we are surrounded by people who make absolutely zero effort to know us and to learn about our culture. While interacting with people at work or anywhere, these people will deliberately and purposefully ask that we repeat ourselves, pretending that they do not understand us. They cannot understand. They will say that we have a heavy accent. Where is your accent from? everything they can do to diminish you. Every holiday, we must agree to work or we will not be paid. Sometimes even be threatened to be fired if we do not show up at work during holidays. Even when we are lucky to get an office job, the office does not pay you when you are not salaried. It means that you are simply a contractor, and as such, you remain an hourly worker. The office being closed during holidays, it means that you receive no pay since you did not work. Can you imagine, for instance, celebrating the 4th of July with no money? It happened to me working at Aetna US Healthcare. I was not paid for the holiday, all holidays, because I was not salaried. I was an hourly worker, hourly employee, and so the office being closed, I could not report to work and put in my hours. Mind you, rent, bills, food and transportation are expenses that must be met regardless. Soon, you begin to buy groceries that may not even be your prime choice, but that you can afford. A majority of these groceries are foods that are processed, full of carbohydrates, full of everything that you do not need, your body does not need to be healthy. But unfortunately, that's what you can afford. So you settle with processed foods. You eat less fish, less fruits and vegetables than when you were back in your home country. And it's funny that suddenly you even discover a taste for salty or sweet snacks like potato chips that are not even good for your health. But you take it as a poor gratification for the void that is being created inside of you as a result of your new living conditions. You come home angry or tired, exhausted, and all you want to do is to shower, eat, and sleep in order to recover and prepare yourself for another day. But you must cook before eating, right? And house chores are waiting, which nobody else will do for you. Here there is no house help like in your home country. African men, for the most part, are used to their wife being in the kitchen to cook. But here, the wife also works outside and sometimes may come home later than the husband. In my case, I would find it easier to grocery shop on my way back from work, which allows me to stay home on my day off so I can do house chores cooking, taking care of the children, and get a semblance of rest, which actually is a lie. But you do get my point, right? At least that would allow me not to be running the stores on my day off, and my body will be in a kind of rest mode. Now, let us get back at the husband and wife. African men do not make any effort to help their wife at home, but instead, they are demanding. This in itself causes frustration to the woman, who nevertheless continues to care for her family despite her fatigue. The couple does not spend time together. There is less and less bonding time, let alone intimacy. The children's education, raising children and taking care of their schooling becomes even more and more difficult because they have after-school activities, and it is difficult when you don't have a car to be able to transport them from one location to another for the school activities, which are mandatory. When the couple is religious and finds time to pray, eat or attend church service together, it helps them at least to meet other couples and have conversations, or even contribute and take part in potlucks or church events. This will help them, as well as the word of God that they hear when they go to church. And that experience will help them boost themselves up, boost up their morale, and give them strength to remember that they are married for better and for worse, and they also have commitment to take care of their children. Now, what happens in the situation where the couple do not eat, pray, not worship together like before? An emptiness begins to create itself, which could develop into loneliness, frustration, resentment. Sometimes, in the case of a man, this would even cause him to seek comfort outside of the home, while he's still married to the woman at home. That is the beginning of an extramarital affair. Most of the time, the woman will remain committed to her husband and try even more to please him by giving more of herself to her family and doing everything to seek his attention, while he keeps brushing away her advances and effort. The husband is developing, as you can see, a narcissistic behavior, while the woman remains in denial. She refuses to see the reality that is happening before her eyes. And that reality is that they are slowly moving apart. But She will remain in denial because she does not want to even think that anything could happen to her marriage, because remember, we marry for better and for worse. The man himself is in denial because he fails to sit down with his wife to talk, to understand each other, to find out what is causing frictions in their relationship and how they can spark back up the flame of love. The love that brought them both to this expatriate adventure. He pursues his extramarital affair because it makes him happy. He makes every effort to spend less time at home with his wife and children. He pretends he's always working or he's at school, and he constantly lies to his wife and children. Every time the wife attempts to talk to him about her suspicion of him having an affair, he gets madly angry. Well, as you can already imagine, something bad is brewing. That thing could soon explode when the wife cannot take it anymore, when she cannot take any more of the nonsense that is happening in her relationship. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you for joining the Inspirations Podcast episode 2. Be well, and may God bless you all.